What's up, guys? PenSunshine8505 here. Today, I am going to answer your burning questions. I got a few questions today, so with that, let's get to it. Sit back, relax, enjoy. Grab a drink, grab a snack, whatever you want, and let's get right to it. Alright, so we're going to start off with the questions from YouTube, and then after I finish the questions from YouTube, we'll do the questions from Discord. So let's get our questions. I have them all written down here. Come on, open up. Alright, let's start off. Our first set of questions comes from Signalbox Studios. His first question is, what Lionel engine do you think is overhated? I would have to say in general, it's gonna be the DC powered starter set locomotives from the MPC era. Yes, they are very light, but they do run decently well. And you can actually convert them to run on AC power. You just have to put a little rectifier diode on there, which you can find rectifier diodes in like computers and whatnot, and you just solder it to the motor. It's super simple. His next question is, what is your most and least reliable engine? I would have to say my most reliable engine is probably gonna have to be my Lionel 681 S2 steam turbine. That thing runs beautifully, and it pulls a lot too. For least reliable, I would actually have to say probably my number 8304 steam locomotive that came in the Broadway Limited set, which I have done a review on that, by the way. The E unit just sticks a lot, and it likes to stick in reverse a lot. So I'd have to say that's probably going to be one of my least reliable engines. His third question is, if you were to start over, what would you do differently? So when I started at 4 years old, so it was kind of out of my control. But if I were to restart now, and with the knowledge that I know now, I would probably, that is a very good question. I'd probably do some things different with the layout. I would probably rearrange some things. Do some things differently, like I'd want to add a tunnel. At least a tunnel. Because I would just love to have a tunnel. And I'd also, with the bridge, I would get a taller bridge. Not like have it higher off the layout or anything. I would actually have a bridge where the openings on each end are taller, because the openings on those bridges are not tall enough to fit the Menards, the Menards auto racks, which kind of sucks, but you know, it's whatever. And his last question is tips for train shows. My biggest tip with train shows is always negotiate. People are always going to be willing to negotiate. If something's at a good price, and you don't feel like you need to negotiate, don't negotiate then. But if you think it's a little high, always at least try to negotiate down. Another thing is, don't wait on that item, because sometimes you'll see something and you think, yeah, maybe I'll pick it up. But then you'll go walk around the rest of the show, just to see what else there is, and you come back and it's gone. So don't wait on items. Our next question comes from Daniel Richardson's -T2F. He asks, do you have a Facebook? I do indeed have a Facebook, but I don't post anything on there, and I don't really use it that much. really the only thing I use Facebook for is to go onto Facebook Marketplace and look at cars that I know I'll never be able to afford. So yes, I do have a Facebook, but I don't use it. Moving on to the questions from Discord, and we got a lot of them. Starting off from It's HeMan, he asks, any thoughts on doing a standard O versus O scale freight car video after the 6464 video? Yes, I think that would be a great idea. I don't have a lot of standard O freight cars. I have a lot of standard O freight cars, but I don't have a lot of scale freight cars. I have one or two, I think. So I think it would be a fun idea to do. But first, I do need to do that 6464 video. Our next set of questions comes from Grimoire. His first question is, which train is the most... No, I'm not answering that. Stop. His second question is, which train would you run a train on? Trainception, okay. That's a good question. I'd probably, if I was to go on a train, take any train now, and run a little model train on it, probably the Amtrak California Zephyr. And then his final question is, opinions on the Pokemon leaks with Typhlosion. So I'm not going to go into details of what those are, but I'm just going to say this, they're absolutely disgusting. Don't look it up if you don't want to be scarred for life. Our final set of questions comes from XDtron X. Hey, it's my brother. Hey ya. His first question is, who would win in a race, Sonic or the Flash? Well, since I'm very partial to Sonic, I'm gonna say Sonic. His second question is, personal favorite locomotive? Well, if we're going off of real trains, it's gonna have to be the Pennsylvania S1 number 6100. I just love the look of it, and I love big steam, especially the Pennsylvania's duplexes. They're just so cool. Yes, I know they weren't very successful, but I still think they're really cool. And also, fun fact, the Pennsylvania S1 potentially holds the steam world record. Now, it's not official because they never did an official test on it, but it may, in fact, have been faster than the Mallard. Again, nobody knows for sure, though, because they never did any official tests. His third question is, favorite car ever? Well, I'd have to say probably... I have a few favorites, but I have to say probably one of my most favorites is the 1964 Pontiac Bonneville, because my grandpa's got one, and I love that car to death, so that's probably going to be my favorite. And his final question is, best Batman movie and why? Well, I'd have to say my favorite is Tim Burton's Batman from 1989. I love that Batman movie so much. So many iconic scenes. Michael Keaton was a great Batman actor. Jack Nicholson as the Joker it was awesome. And everything about that movie I love. The Batmobile, Gotham, the Batwing, everything. And honestly, I think the Batman movie that came after it too, Batman Returns, is pretty good too. I don't think it's as good as Batman 89, but I do think it was still really good. And honestly, I wish Warner Brothers let Tim Burton write a third Batman movie. It would have been awesome. But yeah, that's all your burning questions, guys. If you have any more questions for me, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below, or in the Q&A section of my Discord server, which the link to join is down in the description below. And if I get enough questions, I'll potentially make a part 2 to this video. So with that, I hope y'all have a wonderful day. This is gonna be Penn Central 8505, out.